For a great cup of joe, there's one thing you should know. Your morning brew can also be playful. Buff Boy Brewing guys make the temperature rise, and you surely feel naughty when you swallow our coffee. If you want some real heat, give your mouth a fine treat. You will want some more, rest assured. Buff Boy Brewing, you can't get enough of.
It's time for The Scribble, your weekly fix of celebrity chats, bizarre stories in the news, and basic random chatter with best-selling author and syndicated radio host Jeremy Bradley. Make sure your seat is in the upright and locked position and your barf bag is securely in place. Here's Jeremy Bradley.
Thank you very much, Larson. Jeremy Bradley here. This is The Scribble. Happy holidays to ya. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. Those are the only ones that I know. But anyway, I hope you're having a great holiday season. Now, I'm going to be up front, okay? I'm going to be very transparent with you. It is the end of December for you. It is middle October here, okay? I'm not even pretending like I'm talking to you on Christmas or during the holiday season. We generally, at our company, for the most part, we take the month of December off. Even when we were doing our syndicated radio shows, we did not, all of our Christmas stuff was taped in October or November. We did not, unless there was something major breaking news. I don't work, I'm not doing radio stuff in December. Now, this is a fun fact, but it's kind of sad, is that there's generally, this is without fail, some kind of big celebrity death between Christmas and New Year's. Then I get pulled into the radio and having to talk about that. I'm just, off the top of my head, I'm thinking there was Betty White. I think that was New Year's Eve day. Barbara Walters. There was somebody last year. I can't remember who it was. But anyway, so I'm not here today. It is October, completely different month. Actually, Halloween is coming, so we're mixing up the holidays today. Anyway, so I just wanted to be upfront with you. It's not the holiday season for me as it is for you right now as you're listening to this, okay? But that's kind of actually sort of what I'm talking about today on the show. Our holiday traditions on the way out. Back when I was a kid, it was very routine. It was, this happened on this day, this was this, then this, then this, then this, then this. It was like clockwork. You just kind of knew how it was going. Fast forward all these years and adding in a new generation of family members, right? You know, you got your nephews and whoever. Our holiday traditions on the way out. Does the newer generation keep close the moments, the, traditions, the things that you used to do when you were a kid? Do you still do them today, or have they kind of just fizzled out? I'm going to explain why I'm talking about this on the Scribble starting right after this.
Isn't it crazy that you wait for payday, but before you know it, you're strapped for cash again? It's time to stop blowing your money and become a smart spender with the book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com. Learn simple ways to cut costs at home every day and during special times of the year. Don't go broke at Christmas. Don't remortgage the house for a fancy vacation. The book is filled with tips to save you money throughout the year. Check out the best-selling book, The Official Guide to Being an American Cheapskate at cheapskatebook.com or on Amazon and iTunes.
Ever had something to get off your chest but never had the balls to say it? That's a load of crap. Speak Free with JB.com is exactly what you've been waiting for. Your chance to tell it like it is and not care what anybody else thinks. Have your say on issues of the day. Join newspaper and radio columnist Jeremy Bradley as he tells it like it is. Hundreds of thousands of people have stopped by, including some well-known celebrities who have had a chat with JB and speak candidly about what's really going on in the world. You can join them too. Have a rant or a rave. Be brave and head on over to www.speakfreewithjb.com now.
Jeremy Bradley here on The Scribble. Happy holidays to you again. Let me just say that as you are in the swing of the holiday season and I'm here in October getting ready for Halloween. The holiday traditions were really big for me when I was a kid and then as a teenager and then I guess in my early 20s because we're basically told to feel that holidays are all about the family, and there was something just comfortable. So again, I think about when I was growing up with I have two older brothers, and then I've got my parents. When we were all living under the same roof, I had my own room upstairs. My brothers shared a bedroom downstairs, and then of course my parents had their bedroom. My brothers would watch Braveheart for some reason. I don't know why that happened. The Mel Gibson movie. My brothers would watch Braveheart downstairs. I would watch either Dumb and Dumber or Austin Powers in my room, and then my parents, whatever they watched, they were in the living room watching TV. So my brother's downstairs watching TV. I'm in my room watching TV. My parents in the living room watching TV. And then Christmas Eve, again, was just, we would open one present, one gift on Christmas Eve. That was kind of a later tradition, that we didn't always do that. It just sort of happened then. But again, that was our night, that's our family bonding time. You go watch your screen, I'll go watch mine. This was before the days of smartphones and tablets and things that would distract us even further. But that was what we would do. I would watch one of those movies, my brother's Braveheart, and then my parents doing whatever. Christmas, again, I was generally the first one to be awake because I was the youngest and I was excited the most for Christmas. So I would be, scoping out the stockings and things. I would look through my brother's stockings to see what they had, and then I would, of course, go through mine. And then you lift up the presents and then you shake them and you kind of guess what's in what box or whatever. I was the Snoopy kid, so I knew that my mom was basically having a bag of gifts in the closet in their bedroom. So I peeked. Our house wasn't very big, so there were only so many places that you could hide things, right? I mean, you notice when there's a new pile of clothes somewhere, or there's something moved, or it's just, you kind of pick up on those things. So I ruined the surprises for myself. But Christmas morning, was, I would sit on the one end of the couch. My dad would sit in his chair. My mom would be in her chair. My brother across the room in this chair. And then on the other end of the couch was my other brother. Sometimes sitting on the floor with our dog, who, was just kind of interested in what was going on. He just wanted to be there. And we would go around the room, right? One person would open, and then another, and then another, and another. And then by that time, as a kid, you're just impatient. And we scrapped that rule, and then we would just all start opening them at the same time. And it really sped things up, and it made it quick. And then my mom would make pancakes or some kind of a breakfast. And we would then get ready to go to my grandparents' house. And then we would, again, do the same thing. The downstairs, the basement was where we had this very long table. And then there were chairs along the side. And then there was a couch across the way. But everybody kind of had their same seat at the table. The grandsons would be up against the wall. There was a long bench that we could sit on, so we were all kind of there. And then the girls, like my female cousins, would be, across, and then the parents all kind of just sat around, right? But basically the big table was for all of us kids. And so we would do that downstairs, and then we would go upstairs, and everybody would cram into the living room, and there was just something fun about it. Again, we were kids, right? So we were going to get gifts. Of course, it was a good thing. But it was very routine. It was kind of, we would go there for whatever time. We would do that. We would have dinner, then we'd do this and that, and then it kind of wrapped up. And then now, being in Canada, we had Boxing Day, which was another day of Christmas, the 26th. We would do something with my dad's side of the family. And so we, again, would go to a hall, or we would go to somebody's place. Generally, it was, again, it seems like the basements were always kind of the biggest area to have a long table set up, right? You didn't want to have to clear out your living room. So there would be a table in my aunt and uncle's basement, and same kind of a thing. Gifts would then be opened, and then we would kind of go on our way. And so there was this routine that we did year after year after year. And there was a comfort in that because it was the same, and it's like, oh, well, it's the Christmas season, and this is how we do it, right? And then my brothers got married, and they moved out, and so they had their own traditions that they were starting when they started to have kids. So they weren't around Christmas Eve then, and I was just still at my parents' house. I was the youngest, and the last to move out because I was the youngest too. And so it was just my parents and me on Christmas Eve. And so now I was old enough to drink, and we would, play Nintendo bowling or whatever. My mom would get a little tipsy with her vodka slush that she would make. And so then that was kind of a new tradition, right? We had to kind of start a new Christmas Eve tradition where, okay, my brothers aren't here, so it's just the three of us. And so we do this. And so we did that for years. And then I got together with my husband. And so, we've got our own life and family and dogs, and we want to do Christmas Eve, kind of on our own. We're gonna have 3 or 4 days of family shit. I mean, you know what? It's not like you're not gonna see me at all for Christmas, but Christmas Eve, like everybody's doing their own thing now. So my parents are on their own, my brothers are there with their families, and I've got our thing going. But at first, it was kind of strange to not go to my parents on Christmas Eve. Actually, I think maybe we did 1 or 2 times at first, because my husband's from Brazil, so he was away from his family, and so we just kind of did something with my parents on Christmas Eve. But after a while, again, we're grown men, so he was kind of like, we're gonna be seeing your parents enough for the next 2 or 3 days, like, let's just do our thing. And not that we did, again, we would watch like National Lampoon's or Home Alone or something, so it's not like we did anything extravagant at our place. But I just remember feeling it was weird, like it was just kind of different that first year. And then a couple years ago, my husband said, well, why don't we let's go to Brazil and see my family for Christmas. He's not super close. Like my family's nauseously close for the holidays, so it's always been kind of more fun. And I've got a much bigger family anyway. And our dogs are here, so it's kind of like, I don't want to leave the dogs with somebody over Christmas and they're just a nuisance or whatever. So we've always had Christmas either in West Hollywood or in Winnipeg. But I just remember saying to him, like, I can't go to Brazil for Christmas. I'll never hear the end of it. Like, why? Nah, I can't be away from my family. Meanwhile, I'm expecting him to be away from his for the holidays, right? But now, we're 9 years into our relationship, so it's not like this is something new. But I just think traditions are on the way out. And so we don't even really go to my family Christmas get together anymore. And I think it really changed for our family around the pandemic, because of course you couldn't do Christmas then, right? I think that was sort of what changed a lot of things. Now, my grandma also died during it too. So my grandpa, he died like 15 years ago or so. So he's been gone for a while. But there was still something that was comforting to go to my grandma's house when she was on her own, because you sort of feel bad. They were married for 60 some years and she's on her own. So of course the family's going to go there for Christmas, and that was special. And I would never take that away from her. She was then in a nursing home, and then before the pandemic, and then during the pandemic is when she died in the nursing home. And so we had to scale back our Christmas because you just weren't allowed to get together. And then it never kind of rebounded after that. And so I just remember talking to people during the pandemic, and people kind of going and saying, like, you know what, we actually kind of still do a low-key Christmas. Like, we just don't do the big thing like we did before the pandemic. And not that there was anything wrong with those, but you just kind of got used to not doing it. So what ended up happening was we would shift, because now it's Christmas, and we're not at my grandma's house anymore because she's dead and she doesn't have a place. So, okay, well, we'll go to my cousin's house. And they were doing that for the odd time, because our family's just become so big with so many people that, my grandma's house was small and my cousin had a bigger house. But it wasn't the same where it was, okay, we're going to do the big dinner. And they've started to change it up now over the last few years, where it's like, well, we'll do a brunch now. So it's not the big turkey, potatoes, pierogies, salad, and the desserts and eggnog and all this other stuff. It then turned into a brunch, and it was kind of more casual. And then, there'd be playing street hockey again. It's Canada. So there'd be, all the kids are going to go out to go play street hockey. There was just something different about it being on Christmas Day, like at night. And I think it became too casual, sort of too low-key. And then I just started to lose interest in it. I'm not a brunch person anyway. I'm not into French toast or sausage and all the different kinds of things that they were making. I like the turkey dinner. I kind of like the big. So that's where I started to lose interest in it. And I felt bad the first time, because I said to my husband, like, it's brunch. Like, it's even the fact that they've scaled it down so much, where we used to go for, I don't remember what time it was that we would go, but it seemed like it was almost an all-day thing. We would go to my grandparents'. Maybe it was 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. As a kid, you don't have the concept of time. I wasn't looking at the clock. I was just having fun. Maybe we would stay there until about 10 o'clock at night. So it ended up being, a full 8-hour day. And now the family is kind of, it's brunch, and it's like, well, we'll all be out of there at 2 o'clock. We'll be out of there by 3. So it just seems like people are phoning it in. Like, it's kind of like, oh, we're just going through the motions of having Christmas. So we haven't gone to the big family Christmas get-together in probably, about 3 years, I guess. I went on my own one time because we did split up for Christmas. He did go to Brazil maybe 3 years ago or the year after the pandemic. I can't even remember when that was now. That would have been 2001 or 2021 or 2022. I don't remember. And so we did Christmas separate, which was fine, whatever. And then I had gone to the brunch the one year because it was just me, and I was like, well, I'm just going to be bored at home. And honestly, I actually didn't even know that it was a brunch until there was a group chat, and I needed to see what my cousin's address was. So I looked at the group chat, and I saw that the brunch was happening that morning, and I was like, oh shit. I thought that we were doing something in the evening, as it always was, not to realize that they had actually changed the plans, that it's now a brunch after all these years of doing it as a Christmas dinner. And so I went to the fact that I was totally not interested and I didn't even know, I saw the message about an hour and I was like, oh my God. So did I Uber or taxi or something? Because I figured I was going to drink. And I found out that it was like an hour before. I think it was actually already started by the time I got there, and people were leaving within like a half hour or an hour. So I just thought, this doesn't feel like Christmas, like it's just not. And so I think it's okay, right? Because it's almost like we're trained to believe that like family tradition is everything, and that and it was for a long time. Hey, I'm 43 years old now, and I've been in my own relationship now for how many years, and we do our own thing on Christmas or Christmas Eve or Boxing Day or New Year's, whatever it is. And that's okay. And so I was talking with one of my colleagues, and she and her husband, they've been married 20 years. They've been together longer. They don't have kids either. And so we went for lunch the other day, and I'll lead into that story in the next segment. So stick around for that. It's coming up on the Scribble right after this.
Who are the Kardashians feuding with now? What did that little thug Justin Bieber do this time? Who's getting hitched? And who's headed for Splitsville? Hear the latest celebrity news and gossip every day on Entertainment Wrap-Up. The good, the bad, the ugly, but mostly the ridiculously hilarious. It's all recapped in this daily segment at entertainmentwrapup.com. Have a laugh at the expense of the rich and famous when they take themselves way too seriously. It's 3 minutes of time-wasting fun at entertainmentwrapup.com. Check out Entertainment Wrap-Up at entertainmentwrapup.com. Brought to you by Speak Free Books.
JB here on the Scribble. So just talking about Christmas traditions, I mentioned in the last segment that I've got a colleague who we did lunch the other day, and we were just kind of shooting the shit, and we start talking about the holiday season, and her and her husband are discussing going to Mexico. As I said, for you it's the midst of the holiday season now. For me right now, sitting here talking, it's the middle of October, and so she was kind of saying, like, all of her relatives, like her brothers and sisters, and then her relatives, everybody's got kids. She can't stand kids. She doesn't have all the kids' stories that all the others are having. So they kind of feel not left out, but just sort of like, it's kind of boring. Like the adults are talking about kid stuff. The adults don't have adult lives anymore. The adults have parent lives, and it's just, you're just in different worlds, and that's okay. And so she said, like, we don't even really like going to Christmas anymore. So same situation as me, where she's like, yeah, we might go somewhere. We might kind of, we just want to do our own thing. And I said, oh, so how's everybody going to feel about that, right? Or would they even notice that you're not there? And she said, probably not. Maybe, if it's the Christmas gift, whatever, then, oh, well, where are they? They're not, oh, their presents are still here. But otherwise, she's like, no. And I said the same thing where, yeah, we used to in our family do the big gift exchange. We would, because our family ended up becoming so big, we didn't buy for everybody. So we would just draw a name, and then we would buy for the one person. And I think we had like a $30 limit. So it wasn't like we were spending, big time on the gifts for this thing. But, and when we had that revamped, as I said in the last segment, it became brunch, and it wasn't kind of the big thing. It was like a Secret Santa, like it was an exchange where you would have like the stupid gift. I don't even remember. You would buy like stupid gifts, and then you would put them, so you would pick one, and then you could trade it with somebody and take their gift. And I just didn't participate. I was kind of like, I don't find that fun. I'm gonna waste money on something stupid. Now they said that you could just give some like a gift that you already have from somebody that you want to re-gift as like a stupid gift or whatever. Oh, I don't have anything like that. So I'm gonna go and spend $20, $30 on a stupid gift, or potentially something good. and then I'm going to end up coming back. Like, I just didn't understand. Like, maybe it's a fun game. I don't know. I don't get the point of it. So they kind of mixed it up with that, and I just thought, oh, it's just changing too much. And that's exactly what my colleague said. She said, yeah, if it was kind of the way it was back then, I might still be into it. But the family dynamic has changed, where now you've got all of, we're older, and then you've got all the kids in the way and being loud, and it's just not the same. And so she said the same thing. It's not fun. And I said, I hear you. What do you think about holiday traditions? Do you still do what you did either when you were a kid? And I realize that there's people who move away, and so it's you long for that time because you miss seeing your family members, right? So I get it. Maybe it's because my family is so, as I said earlier, obnoxiously close that it sort of became routine. Easter is the same thing. Thanksgiving is the same thing. It's going to be the same turkey. It's going to be the same meal. This person's going to make the same salad. This person's going to make the same meatballs. This person's going to make the same whatever. But there was a comfort in that because there was normalcy. There was just, I don't know, there was just routine. It was kind of great. Once you break that, I was kind of like, I'm not into this new one now. I'm just not. It's not for me. So I'm going to bow out. And that's all right. After a while, the years just become sort of a blur, don't they? I remember one year at my parents' house, and again, like I said, we would do the big thing with my parents' family, or my immediate family, and then of course my brothers, their wives, and their kids. We all sit in the same chair when we go to open the gifts. And one year my brother set up there was a video camera on a tripod. So this is before the days of your phones, everybody just snapping phone. My brother set the camcorder up in the corner on a tripod to kind of show like most living room. It was almost like a surveillance camera now that I think about it, the way he had it positioned up on a table in the corner, kind of looking down at the room. And I just remember thinking, what is he going to do with that? Have you ever gone back and watched a video of Christmas? Think about it when you go to a nephew's birthday party, a niece's birthday party, a parent's birthday party, a grandparent's birthday. Everybody is there with their camera out, snapping the pictures, taking video of singing happy birthday. Maybe you've posted this stuff on social media in the moment, right? Because that's why you're taking the pictures anyway. Do you even go back and look at them? Do you go look at the pictures? Am I just going to go in April or June and go, I'm going to watch the Christmas video from last year? Who cares? The only reason that I do that is because I'll do that like, oh, what was that last year or the year before? Then I can go to my pictures and go, oh no, that's what happened. Okay, that's what we did. But no way do I have like a 10-minute video of watching like people opening gifts. Who cares? What the fun? Like, what the fun? What fun is that? Honestly, it's like same people who like when you have a wedding video. I was our videographer in the family for all these years of like when everybody got married. And so I would have almost the entire thing videotaped. Every guest, every table, every this, every that, every dance, every whatever. Maybe you watch your wedding video, afterward because you're so caught up in the moment of your big day that you don't really, notice or realize what's going on in the moment. Maybe you watch it on your anniversary, the first anniversary. But you just, I don't know. Okay, I take pictures at my nephew's birthday because it's just kind of expected, right? You just kind of, because everybody else is taking a picture. I've never once sat there and watched the, the video of opening gifts or Christmas, whatever. Like, why would I want to relive that? And then years later, right? Like, what am I going to watch? I'm going to watch the video from Christmas 2019 this weekend. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch 2019. And then I'm going to watch my nephew's graduation from 2022. Like, people just don't do that anymore. Back in the day, you would flip through the photo album, right? Because you only had a limited number of photos that you could take when you'd get them developed at the photomat. You'd have to wait a week for them. Sometimes if you were paid extra, if you were paying extra, you could get it in 1 hour. But why would I want to watch, like, what was the point of setting up a surveillance camera in the corner of the room? Like, okay, so you're going to watch your kid open the presents. Like, what? I don't know. That's not being a non-parent thing either. That's just me going, what's the logic? Like, why? And I should actually ask, I should go, like, Trevor, did you ever watch that video? Do you still have that video from all those years ago? What did you ever do with it? Is it just on a tape somewhere? Because like I said, it was a camcorder, so it was like a pop-in tape kind of a thing. Did you ever watch it? Did you ever go back and look at it again? What came of it? I don't know. People have thousands of pictures of their kid, like, opening every fucking present, every gift, every this, every that. I don't know. Do the kids care? See, this is, I guess, the thing, going back to at the beginning when I said about traditions and are they on the way out. The traditions meant something more because we had closer relationships with our grandparents. Like, family dynamics have changed over time. And so for us, we not worshipped our grandparents, but it was just, we just saw them much, much, much differently than I see how my nephews and niece look at my parents as their grandparents. It's just different. It's just not the same. There's not, I don't know. I think that, like, we would talk to our grandparents, but it was not like we would, at the Christmas, like, have, sit and have conversations and whatever. It was kind of just, it was almost, not to say that they were unapproachable. I don't want it to sound like that at all, but it was just, they were just on a different level. They loved us. Of course they did. I'm not saying that they were, snobby to us. It's not like we had to ask, may I speak to my grandmother, please? But I don't know, we just kind of, there was a hierarchy. It was like kind of, it was just different. So I don't think that it's all that bad to, give up on traditions or change them over time. And I don't know that, people have that attachment anymore. It's kind of going the way. So let me ask you, did you see a shift in the way you celebrated holidays during the pandemic and after? Did you feel lost that first Christmas or first holiday season where you couldn't be with everybody? Was that a big deal for you? And again, like I said, my husband and I mean, we're very homebodies. We don't, I hang out with, cousins or whatever from time to time, but it wasn't a big loss for us to not be able to go to the big family thing because, we kind of stopped enjoying it. So, how did it change for you? Send me an email, live, at jbonair.com. live@jbonair.com. And we're going to take a break. I'll be right back on the Scribble right after this.
We hear you chirping. Get scribbling. Tweet up the Scribble at The Scribble Show. Join the discussion with Jeremy Bradley. It's all going down right now on Twitter at The Scribble Show and at thescribbleshow.com.
Jeremy Bradley here, back on the Scribble in our final remaining moments of this non-holiday holiday show. This is kind of a weird time, right? Like the day after Christmas, and then you kind of got that lull in the new year. Now, if you have a job and you work for somebody, there's always that, are we going to get the time off between, Christmas and New Year's? What are we going to have to work? Are we going to have short days? Can we be? And then when you actually do get the time off, you're bitching and the word kvetching? You're kvetching about how you got to run around and you got so much to do. It's like, I would rather be at work. There's so much running around, so much hassle, so much fussing, so much everything. And it's like, fuck it, I'd just rather be at work today. I don't even want to do all this running around. And therein lies the beauty of breaking Christmas tradition and just doing your own thing. I did a show about this, I don't know if it was last year or 2 years ago, where I said, it's okay to be alone on Christmas. Really, like everybody, the whole thing, and I think I said this at the top of the show this week, which is, you're made to feel like family is everything and you've got to be around your loved ones. You know what? It's okay to want to be alone for Christmas. And let me just kind of get serious, at least for a quick minute here, because you hear about how this is a big time of the year when, suicides are up and the feeling of loneliness. You know what, though? Make the most of your time. Maybe you are estranged from your family. Maybe you live far away. Maybe you don't even have a family anymore. That's okay, though. Make your own traditions. Do something where it's like, I've never made cookies before. Let me make some cookies for the holiday season. And if it goes terribly wrong, well, I'm going to laugh because whatever, it's a clusterfuck, but I tried it and oh well. Right? Like you can have it's weird how in society we're basically told that this is how we should feel. This is what we should be doing. This is what the holidays should mean to us. No, the holidays mean to you what they mean to you. And there's no right or wrong. If you spend 5 days straight with your relatives and you have a great time and you're laughing every minute, wonderful. If you spend the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days on your own, never talking to another person, just doing your own thing, perfect. Right? Like, I just don't subscribe to being told this is what my Christmas should be, or Christmas is this, or Hanukkah, or whatever it is that you celebrate. So do your thing. Don't make it we're already after Christmas now, so telling this after the fact might be moot. But again, we've still got New Year's coming up, right? This is still technically the holiday season. So make the most of it. Do whatever you want to do. Make yourself happy. My name is Jeremy Bradley. Happy holidays, everybody. I will talk to you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Want more Scribble? Check out thescribbleshow.com for past shows, celebrity interviews, cheapskate tips, and more. That's at thescribbleshow.com and on Twitter at The Scribble Show. The Scribble is a speak-free media presentation.
If you want some real heat,